Hello again. So, welcome again to Regula webinar. Today we will talk about emerging trends in identity document application for fraud prevention. And let me start with just few housekeeping things. If you're having any trouble with audio, please dial in with the numbers that you got in the email from Zoom. Please feel free to submit your questions during our webinar, and we will cover them all during our Q&A session. Also, this webinar is being recorded, so you will be able to receive the recording after the webinar, just after a few days. Okay, let's proceed. Now, let me start with a short introduction. My name is Kate. I'm a head of product marketing at Regula, and my today's co-speaker is Dmitry. Dmitry is head of mobile and web development at Regula. Hello, Dmitry.
Hello, Kate. Thank you. I'm very glad to be here today.
Nice to have you here too. Thank you. So let's go on. I would like to cover just a few facts about Regula. Regula has been in the industry for over 30 years. This year, we are 31. It all started with the manufacturing devices for banknote authentication and identity verification. From the very beginning, we've had all our research and development 100% in-house, and that allows us to control and guarantee the quality at every step and ensure the fastest time to market for our products. Currently, more than 1,000 clients use Regula solutions, and more than 80 borders are equipped with Regula devices. Also, we proudly offer the most comprehensive library and database of identity documents from 247 countries and territories. This slide shows what directions Regula covers at this moment. As you may see, the product portfolio consists of both identity verification software solutions and forensic devices. This kind of synergy enables continuous improvement for fraud prevention. Because insights that we've gained from forensic field, Regula integrates into identity verification solutions and vice versa. As the main theme of today's webinar is about document authenticity, we decided to cover some authenticity checks and explore the ones that are beyond common verification process, because we see some market trends that are forcing us to dive deeper into it. So let's start this journey together. According to the latest Gartner Market Guide for Identity Verification that was issued recently in September, the identity verification market is rapidly evolving. Now, identity verification goes far beyond common KYC onboarding scenarios, and it is now being deployed more broadly in marketplaces, in workforce scenarios, or security-focused use cases. And that all increasing demand for identity verification solutions. By the way, as usual, Regula has been named as a representative vendor in this market guide from Gartner. Dmitry, I have a question for you. I know that you often communicate with customers. What trends can you highlight? Or maybe new scenarios you see or you hear from our customers?
Yeah, well, Kate, thank you. It's a good question. I definitely see the increase in demand for fraudulent document verification in the companies and remote verification scenarios. And it's true that these scenarios are evolving beyond onboarding. I would also add that governments and regulatory bodies across the globe are introducing stringent regulations to combat identity theft. Okay, traditionally, our key customers are from banks or telecom, and we help them to automate onboarding processes. But now we get more and more requests from a number of new industries. For instance, the recent case from the manufacturer of soft drinks where they need to verify drivers before they are distributing beverages from manufacturer. So it's very interesting that we have a wider and wider experience and get new clients in different.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah.
That is really interesting. Thank you. I think that digital nomadism is also impacting the circulation of foreign documents, and this may also cause the rise in fraud attempts. Regula's recent global study shows that about 80% of organizations have seen foreign documents verifications cases grow. And 88% of these organizations perceive synthetic identity fraud also growing. And that may cost close to $300,000 in average per year. And that is really a lot. And now I would like to ask our guest. So dear guests, please share your experience. What is the most important trend that you see and observe on the market? Please share your thoughts with us. You can select up to 3 options on your screen for this question. I'll give you some time, few seconds, and we will see. Okay, few seconds more. Okay, I'm ready to close the poll. Let's see your answers. Cool. So I see that almost the same is for remote verification scenarios is growing and increase of fraud. Great. New identity verification use cases. So that is very interesting. If you can share what exactly new ones, that would be great. Okay, thank you. Let's proceed. We see this increase and we see the challenges. Yeah, and to address all these trends and challenges, it's crucial to choose the right solution to prove document authenticity. Gartner says that addressing document authenticity remains an opaque process for many, but its significance cannot be overestimated. Nonetheless, there are still differentiators that you should consider when choosing an identity verification solution for verifying document authenticity. And these pillars are document authenticity and liveness check. Let's dive into these 2 concepts. On this scheme, you can see that regular identity verification solution consists of, and it covers all the parts of identity verification proofing flow, from document to biometric verification. And that means that you can perform complete identity verification within one interaction. With document reader SDK, you cover the full document verification process. By adding Face SDK, you'll be able to perform complete identity verification running biometric checks. If you'd like to find more about this scheme and the processes and cases we cover, you are more than welcome to watch our recent webinar about complete identity verification that you can find at our website. So you are welcome to watch it as well. But how to make sure a document is authentic? What functionality do you need? What functionality proves it? The more checks you apply, the more confident you can be about document authenticity. Only a combination of checks can ensure you don't let a fraud slip by. Regula provides so many authenticity checks that can be applied to so many elements, but by obvious reasons, we won't cover publicly all these checks. But we will talk about some of them during this session. And now I would like to ask you again, what would be the most interesting topics or functionality for you to explore today? Please also pick the top 3 most interesting elements you want to know about today. As with the previous poll, please take your time Think about it. Okay, few seconds more. And let's see your answers. Cool. Of course, document authenticity is the main topic of our webinar. It's obvious. Biometric checks. Yeah, that is trending and that is really important and complements document authenticity. NFC verification, face matching. Okay, I think that Dmitry will help us with all these security checks. Okay, thank you. And no worries. We will cover plenty of materials today. And now I would like to pass the scene and the word to my colleague Dmitry. And Dmitry will dive into the specific details. Dmitry, the mic is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. Obviously, every verification process starts with capturing an image of the document, especially when it's done remotely. Plus, you don't really know if the person is presenting a real document or just an image. Authenticity starts here. Document liveness detection can guarantee that you are dealing with a physical document. And moreover, the technology automatically detects and recognizes dynamic document security features, perform a screenshot check, and detects if a document is being presented from the screen of another electronic device. Okay, let's have a look at how it works for document liveness. There are just two simple steps. First, you place the document in front of the camera. The app automatically detects its type and turns on the flashlight. Second, swing the document back and forth. The app recognizes security elements, confirms it's a real document and not an image shown on the screen. And there you go, that's it.
Awesome.
Here's an example of a customer story. The Commercial Bank of Dubai was looking for a solution that could effectively verify both digital and real identity documents, online as well as offline. They experienced an increase in new applications and fraud due to increases in immigration. There were many cases when a virtual copy of an ID was presented instead of physical one during the remote onboarding process. So the bank needed to check that only real live documents were presented. They integrated the Regula SDK to verify the documents were real. This helps them to effectively recognize fraud literally at their doorstep. Document liveness detection significantly increase their fraud protection.
Thank you, Dmitry. With the growth of electronic identity documents, an electronic chip check is now one of most important steps to verify a document. Do you agree? The most reliable identity documents are electronic IDs, including passports, driver licenses, ID cards, and others.
Yeah, sure. But despite the fact that these types of documents are strongly protected by RFID chips, they are also a target for forgery. So it's crucial to be able to prove their authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
And Regula knows what data an electronic document should contain, where it's located, what data groups the RFID chip includes, and so on. In remote verification, documents are read by smartphone. If all the certification stages are passed successfully, you can feel confident in its authenticity. Thanks to these checks, you can rely on personal and biometric data from the chip. But how comfortable can you be with the fact that you get the results on a mobile device only? We all know the trend is that more and more fraud happens precisely on mobile devices. So we cannot trust such data. And to be sure that the chip is genuine, Regula offers complete server-side verification for electronic documents. An electronic chip can be re-verified on a server, and that means all sensitive operations occur on the backend, which ensure that the chip is not cloned or manipulated. This approach is considered the most reliable and secure way to verify a document. When an electronic document is processed on a smartphone, a separate server is an internal part of NFC verification. It immediately reprocesses RFID mobile session, running passive, active, and/or chip authentication on the backend, and ensure trustworthy and fraud-free results. And I have another customer story. One of Regula's customers is the largest bank in Switzerland and the world's largest private bank. They came to us and challenged us to create a totally new experience for opening accounts and accessing banking products for their customer instead of real-time video interviews. The point was that they started to accept only biometric IDs. For example, it can be a biometric passport for citizens or a national biometric passport and residence permit for non-citizens. With the help of smartphone and Regula document reader SDK, customers can simply scan their ID, and full server-side verification of RFID data and authentication of the chip data ensure the chip integrity and authenticity. To prove the person who they claim to be, Regula Face SDK compares the document portrait with a selfie. The bank appeared to be the first bank in Switzerland to enable such profound automatic identity verification. That takes only a few seconds and is available 24/7. They also use remote verification process for electronic signature creation throughout the country. Onboarding for new customer is now available right from the mobile banking app, anytime and anywhere.
Dmitry, thank you for sharing this information. It's always interesting to know how it is really implemented on the customer side and the real cases. But there is not only electronic documents to be verified. There are still a lot of traditional style documents out there, but authenticating them can be a challenge for many companies, right? Can you please highlight or tell us what functionality can address it?
Yeah, I agree, Kate. We should still be able to accept traditional identity documents, which are still very popular all over the world.
Yeah, fully agree.
Yeah. For these docs, we also offer an extensive set of checks, including lexical analysis, which automatically enables cross-comparison and textual analysis of the obtained information. It transliterates data if necessary, knows what language should be used in every single document and each of its elements, compares MRZ, visual zone text fields, RFID chip, and barcode data, and reports any exceptions if they occur. We know what data should be in each specific field of any document that we can recognize and read. Another security element that you may come across is IPI, or invisible personal information. It encodes personal data in the primary portrait, protecting both the portrait and the data from tampering. If it's somehow altered, Regula will detect it and mark it like flag. Photo change of substitution is a widespread fraud. Our solution helps you automatically detect whether the photo has been manipulated in the original document by various techniques. Moreover, the absence of a face is verified in specific places of the document where it shouldn't be present. Here you see an example of photo change in a document. If you don't know exactly what this particular document should look like, you will never detect an issue. Document issuing authorities are aware of this problem, so they add various protection methods to the portraits. And one of them is lasing portrait printing technology. The check confirms whether the portrait in the document is printed with lasing technology in accordance with the document template. The machine-readable zone, or MRZ, is another part of a document that requires extended checks, such as background, width, height, font spacing, and other elements of the MRZ. Okay, can you tell me which document is incorrect? Left one or right one?
I think right one.
No, it's the left one. The height of the MRZ line is wrong, but you'll never see if with the naked eye without the help of technology. I also would like to say a few words about barcodes. Thanks to our deep document analysis, Regula knows what kind of barcode is inherited to a specific document, which technical parameters it should process, where to find it, what data it should contain, and how this data should be recorded. Plus, our solution checks it all, detecting barcode background and any inconsistencies, like wrong barcode type in a particular passport, incorrect date, invalid country code, etc. There is no one on the planet who knows all possible identity documents and their security elements. That's because there is no way to remember all the documents in the world, especially which documents are still valid and which are not. Unfortunately, Regula's tremendous database of documents manage this issue easily. Automatic detection of deprecated blanks help you to see whether a processed document's type is still valid or is already deprecated. If a deprecated document type is processed, it will be flagged in the verification result.
Oh my God, it's fantastic how many authenticity checks can be applied to one document. So that is great. Dmitry, thank you for covering this part. It should be now obvious for everyone that biometric verification complements authenticity of any document and overall identity proofing flow. Can you please tell us more about the biometric checks and maybe liveness?
Sure, yeah, it's a very interesting topic. Face identification is a field where the human factor can misinterpret the results while technology won't. For example, on the left side, you see a man who has changed over the time, and you might think they are different people. But face identification assesses similarity to be high. Meanwhile, the main hair on the right seem to be similar at first glance, but they don't have even a single % of similarity.
I would definitely need the solution to to distinguish between them.
Yeah. And to ensure the person is the same in different photos, you can compare a portrait to another reference photos across. For example, you can have a document printed portrait inside your document, RFID chip portrait from your document again, selfie from web or mobile device. It can be a selfie of your client, or an external portrait from any kind of database. It can be a client database again. Another feature is a one-shot identification. It's a feature that simplifies user experience without losing quality. With it, you can compare a live photo and a portrait from a document within one image at the same time, without additional actions. No matter how many portraits a document has and where they are located, Regula's face matching technology allows you to compare an existing portrait with a secondary or host portrait in the document to detect any mismatches or manipulations. Here you can see the different examples of primary and secondary portraits. It can be on the same page, on different pages. It can be on the same page, but visible in different lights, like ultraviolet, for example. And even on the same page, but presented as a kinegram portrait. Well, we confirm the validity of a document and instruct the necessary data. Is that enough for a reliable identity solution? And the answer is no. It's not enough. We need to prove that the right person is using the document, and that is the fact a real person. Liveness detection is becoming a usual process during identity verification and answers the questions how to detect if a real person is in front of the camera. An exhaustive set of checks is executed on the backend to protect against different attack vectors, printed photo, mask, screen replay, and so on. It fully embraces zero trust mobile concept. So the user device just collects the data and sends it to the backend. And all magic happens there. Every session has unique parameters to the enrollment process is more accurate and fraud resistant. We use an active detection approach because it's more reliable, but this approach requires the user to perform several actions. So we made our user experience simple and user-friendly. Let me demonstrate how it works. Even if the user gets lost and doesn't know what to do in the middle of the process, our technology detects the situation and gives the user a prompt hint. As a result, according to our internal tests, the current percent of retake attempts is close to 0. Another thing I would like to mention is performance. According to our metrics, 99% of requests are processed in less than 1 second when using a GPU-powered backend server. I would like to add that conducting detailed checks is much easier when you have a clear understanding of what each specific document should look like and the security elements it should have. And having exhaustive knowledge of identity documents can be game changer. Not only the number of documents, but also how precisely they were examined before adding them to the database. So here's the process we use to enlarge our database with forensics knowledge about identity documents. When a new ID appears, there can be 2 cases. Case number 1, it's an absolutely new security element for us, and so our forensics expert should carefully examine it with the help of our professional devices. Then we create and test new verification algorithms and roll out an update for all documents with this security feature in our database that it used in regular solution. And second case is when we have an IDE with already known and supported security features. In this case, we just add a new template and new information to our database. Usually it takes 3 to 5 days to add a new document to our database. Regular's database consists of more than 13,000 detailed document templates. It supports 138 languages and contains templates of a wide range of ID types, starting with standard documents such as passport, e-passport, and driver licenses, and finish it with more specific types such as marine licenses, refugee cards, water cards, and many, many more. Generally, we update our database on a weekly basis, adding about 500 documents every quarter. And by the link, you can check the full list of supported documents.
Dmitry, thank you for giving that depth of details. That's amazing. Hope our guests find this technical specific also useful and very interesting. And to sum up, I would like to say that proving document authenticity only based on 1 or 2 elements can be a costly mistake because something can be missed. And the more elements you can check and to check authenticity of these elements or the document overall, the better for the process. As you can see, we meet diverse challenges in the identity verification field, like fraud, growing number of foreign documents with the database and the big amount of documents supported. And of course, we address the pressure from regulations because we adjust the set of checks to it. And now we are happy to answer your questions. I hope you have few. Please put your questions in the Q&A session and we will cover them. If we do not manage to answer them all today, no worries, we will answer them and also put it and attach it to the email to the recording as well. So you will receive the recording together with the questions with the answers. So be assured. Dmitry, can you see questions in our Q&A session?
Yeah, give me a second.
Sure.
Yeah, let's start from the end. Okay, how do you process and keep collected data? Okay, First of all, our solution is 100% on premises. And that means that we not collect any data on our side. It's fully GDPR compliant because our clients just deploy all our product inside their environment. And we don't have any access to that private data. So I can say that it's...
I think that this can be a really like prerequisite and the strongest requirement from the customer side, depending on their security procedures as well. Okay,
Yeah,
any
exactly.
other questions?
Give me a few seconds. Do you have ability to check liveness by static image? We prefer to use active liveness because we think that passive liveness, detecting liveness by an image, is not very reliable procedure. So we use the active liveness approach. That means user should carry out some actions in real time that I showed previously. And during that actions, we can analyze the person more reliably and understand that it's a real person, not a video or just a fraud, any kind of fraud that can be used for browser system.
So passive liveness is not that secure. Yeah, it's simple for the user, but really miss the security. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
Okay. Does Regula have a document template database for manual document comparison? Yes, we have a separate product that known as International Reference System. It contains database of identity documents, which includes driver licenses, as well vehicle registration certificates, banknotes, and other kind of documents. And this reference can be used for manual checks. It also includes a more deeply analysis in different lights, like UV light, UR light, and other images of the document. So yeah, it can be used for manual check.
Maybe some questions about documents supported or?
Yeah. Does your database include the student ID cards of colleges and universities in the United States? Yeah, we support some kind of student ID cards, but I think that we should check that after the call. And also, we share the list of the full list of the document in our presentation, so you can come across and check it out after the webinar.
Yeah, we will attach this link to this database so you can always check some rare countries or rare documents.
But again, it's not a problem to add new documents in our database, and we everyday work at that.
As you mentioned, it takes like 2, 3, 5 days to add the document to a database, so that's not really a lot for the project. So.
Can we perform OCR and RFID data extraction and validation only on the server side without Regular's client side SDK?
Question. Yeah,
it's a good question. And I can say that we can extract and perform OCR check using only server side. But if we are talking about RFID chip reading, you should use mobile client-side SDK because we should connect physically to the chip, read the data from that chip, decrypt it, like authenticate it, and only after that we can just grab the data from the chip and use it inside your mobile app, or you can just get it in encrypted way and reprocess it on the server side, as I said, to verify that nobody can change it during the transaction to your backend or manipulate it with the mobile device.
Thank you, Dmitry, for answering these questions. Anything else we can cover today?
Kate, I see a good question about deepfakes. How do you deal with the deepfakes?
Yeah, that's trending one.
Yeah, it's a trend now. So Regula is proactively working on the technique to protect from this threat too. But when it comes to detecting deepfakes, we believe that neural networks can help us to defensive purposes as long as they come with other fraud measures that focus on any kind of physical and dynamic parameters that we could extract during the liveness process. So it's very good. Yeah, and we every day trying to increase our protection from deepfakes as well. Yeah.
And from diverse biometric fakes as well. Like video injection is also the trended one now. Yeah,
exactly. It's I can say that it's a little bit separate part, but also connected between each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Again, the question regarding RFID chip. Do you support passive authentication for RFID chip reading processing? Yes, we do. And as I think you know, to check passive authentication, you should have CSCA certificate that issued by country that produce the document. So we support such kind of certificates. They can be in master list as a storage, or it can be as a separate files that you can integrate inside our SDK and use it to verify passive authentication for the document.
Yeah, it's important to note that we do not provide any certificates. Yeah, we just support this.
Yeah, of course. Of course, we use client side in this.
And as you mentioned before, just to be sure that all the checks can be also done on the service side, right? So all this like passive, active, and cheap, not only on mobile.
Yeah. But again, to perform the process of this session on the backend, firstly, you should read it on the mobile side, because you should physical device with NFC chip that can open the chip and read data from it.
And access to the chip itself.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Another question, what about UV security features? Can your system check them? Yes, we can, but you should know that you should able to get this ultraviolet image. So it should be used by some specific device, like our readers, for example, or any kind of other UV lights that can be produce such kind of images. But yes, we have some checks that works only with UV lights and ER lights as well. So it's a separate authenticity topic.
Yeah, we have a section on our website, by the way, about all authenticity checks that are available on mobile devices, on the forensic devices, document readers. So you are also welcome to check them there.
So I think I go through all questions that I can answer right now.
Okay, but as I said, no worries. We will cover them all. We will provide all the answers in the separate document and we'll distribute together with the recording. And now I would like to say one more thank you to our guests for joining us today. I really hope that you liked today's webinar. And I would like to thank you, Dmitry, for these interesting things you covered today. Yeah, thank you for joining. And as I said, we will cover all your questions and we'll share the recording of the webinar just in a few days after.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Time today. Thank you
Yeah,
again. See
have
you
a nice
soon.
evening. Bye
Bye.
bye.